You have this person totally hooked on you. They have witnessed you go through some kind of a glow up with this energy of butterfly spirit and transformation. This is giving Aphrodite energy, Venus energy, very yummy, divine feminine energy. You have emerged from some kind of cocoon, and with this energy of secret spring and success, you are absolutely mesmerizing. When this person first met you, you might have been in the midst of like a healing journey, a self love journey, or just the experience of connecting with one another has activated some kind of potency within you, some kind of dormant part within you that it feels like has only sort of risen to the surface within you since connecting with this person. You've put in a lot of work and a lot of effort to close out maybe limiting cycles that were sort of getting in the way of the two of you, and furthering this connection just in the time since they've known you, since you've been speaking, or since they've been taking time to observe you from afar. They have watched you really come into your own. This may be somebody that couldn't fully understand the nature of kind of like what you were in the midst of. If again, you were already like on a healing path, already on a self love path, already aligned with kind of like, your spiritual self and trying to sort of bring that into the way you are living materially. So this person, it feels like, has kind of just like taken some time to observe. They have taken some time to kind of just let you do your thing. And now they have a greater understanding of kind of like what is propelling you forward. This very profound force of love that is like radiating from within you. It's spilling out into everything that you touch. You are looking absolutely fabulous, absolutely amazing, even more gorgeous than you looked when this person first connected with you. And this is somebody that really understands, even if they've like respected your space and kind of respected sort of wherever you were at on your healing journey or self-love journey, as well as the ways in which they've made efforts towards you, as far as connection is concerned, opening up, having interactions with you, conversations with you, whatever that looks like. They see that definitely the effect that they have upon you is a positive one. When you are loved correctly, like as this person is moving with integrity, with, purity within themselves, and, kind of this honesty, this honest intention to get to know you, this honest intention kind of see what happens. They are noticing that like this is something that you are responding to in a really amazing way actually, but also energetically speaking. This person feels like they almost feel that they feel very lucky because they've gotten like a front row seat to your transformation, to this like phase of your transformation. And again, with this like butterfly spirit, and she's sort of emerging from that, from that oyster shell, from that clam shell, that Aphrodite energy. This is somebody that is kind of like at this point in time, they are recognizing that you are in full bloom. You have emerged into kind of like a new and improved version of yourself. You have shape shifted before their very eyes, and they are definitely captivated. They are on board with whatever happens next in this connection. Any fears that might have been holding this person back or made them hesitant in the past, they see now that you are somebody who has a very profound kind of like access to love inside of yourself. Not just that you love yourself, but you're connected to kind of like the force of love, source consciousness as it is defined or described as love. This person feels very safe in your presence, like their heart would be in safekeeping with you, because they've watched the ways in which, you care for yourself, you're showing up for yourself, you've also cared for them, you've showed up for them, maybe you've honored their boundaries, you've asserted your boundaries, whatever combination of things, whatever that has looked like in this situation. This person really feels like to continue to pursue this, to continue to pursue you, to take steps forward. This is something that can definitely result in a very beautiful and very fulfilling experience of romance that is unlike anything they've ever witnessed or been a participant in before. We also have Stag Spirit Leadership and Spirit Guardian of Summer Expansion. Yeah, so this person has likely been single for a while, or they've had a very hard time like connecting with somebody that kind of brings about this energy of like a giver within them. It's a provider energy, but it's almost even kind of like holding space for you has been the way in which it feels like they've tried to sort of demonstrate that, not being too pushy, not being too aggressive. And that might have even been something where you had kind of thought like, okay, this is somebody that's just like wanting to take it slow and steady. And it feels like that gradual process of things kind of like coming into full bloom, that has been very like necessary, very appropriate in this situation. Because definitely like the intensity of what they're capable of feeling here, what they're capable of like showing, or what they were witnessing as far as like a transformation that you have gone through, you're going through, maybe even just as the two of you have connected and things that have been activated within the two of you energetically, emotionally, actually, this is something that they weren't necessarily prepared for. They weren't necessarily looking for that. They didn't know such a thing was possible with another person. So they've needed to kind of take some time to, not just sort of sit there and observe you going through this beautiful glow up, but they've been going through some sort of transformation as well internally. The idea of kind of stepping forth and connecting with you on a deeper level, ending that period of like being single, having only themselves to answer to, having only themselves to rely upon, that feels to be something that like, yeah, they are very excited about, furthering your connection, defining the terms of the connection, kind of like getting into a monogamous long-term connection with you. But that also comes with the energy of like breaking habits, breaking patterns, breaking like a mindset that had sort of become routine in this energy of somebody that was like single for a very long time, or somebody that just wasn't really having like deep and fulfilling, transformative connections with other people. Like they might have, had satisfaction going on dates or, hooking up, situationships, talking stages, but there's something different in this connection with you. There's something that really speaks to long-term potential, deeper dreams, deeper desires, deeper hopes, deeper like yearnings and needs within this person have the real ability to come into fruition, because they see that you're somebody that is not just presenting as this very like, inviting and shiny energy on the surface, but that you're somebody that has like taken the time, or even are in the midst of right now kind of like tending to your roots, tending to your core needs or your core wounds, or you're just somebody that is like aligning with sort of wellness, mind, body, and soul, in whatever way that kind of like works for you or applies to your situation. This person recognizes that. They don't need to know exactly what it is that you're doing, exactly what it is that you're focusing on. The evidence of that is very obvious in terms of how you're interacting with one another, how you take space for yourself, how you're showing up and caring for this person, and also showing up and caring for yourself. Something about your energy, your aura, your glow. This is where this person is like, okay, I'm seeing that you are, your light's becoming brighter. You are becoming more sort of in the fullness of this version of you. You've kind of like stepped into this new timeline, and I'm a part of it, and it feels very inviting. But they also understand that this possibility between the two of you, it wouldn't just be for a connection where it's like, okay, we settle in with one another, it gets comfortable or it stagnates or it gets boring. Like this is a very dynamic energy, at least at this phase and for like the foreseeable future. They see that like further interactions with you, deeper connections with you, even surface level interactions with you, this does something to them energetically speaking. It makes them kind of like think deeper thoughts, feel deeper feelings, perceive you in a way that then causes them as well to sort of self-reflect. And so it's this energy of having to sort of shed the identity, the stance that they were taking towards themselves or their life in general in this kind of long-term single energy, or in kind of the experience of like, yeah, there may be like satisfying or rewarding romantic connections with other people, but this is something next level. This is the type of situation that like, if I were ever to kind of put my money on the idea of something like, standing the test of time, or, having the ability to be very enduring, kind of create this legacy of love together, I would want you to be the person that I was kind of like betting on, that I could accomplish that with. This is something where this person is very impressed by the way in which, you really seem to understand yourself. You really seem to, prioritize your own needs and wants, but not in like a selfish sort of way. It's kind of like you fill your own cup first in order to be able to, fill the cups of others, or to receive what others have to give. And so again, this is something that really like encourages this kind of like provider archetype within this person to come to the surface, holding space for you, because it seems like this is your moment. This is the midst of like what you're in, that was activated when this person kind of came into your life, or that you were already in the midst of sort of creating for yourself. They recognize that, they get that this is like your season to blossom. You're in full bloom. You keep evolving, you keep expanding. And this is somebody that it feels natural for them to kind of hold space for you. They don't fear that they will get left behind. It's almost kind of like bringing them into a sense of, yeah, my place is by your side. I see like a leadership quality within you, and therefore it's something within myself. And so it's shedding that kind of like understanding of that it's just them to rely upon, just them to answer to. And it's kind of like, okay, now there's an us, or this idea of like romance only kind of, gets in so deep to the emotional space, or, it's only a certain kind of connection or certain kinds of people they've connected with in the past. And there's something very like transcendent about that. It's like they recognize you as this kind of like divine being incarnate. You're in this fullness of your divine feminine energy, gender aside. You're listening to yourself. You're being very receptive, to the people, places, and things around you, where you're sort of giving your energy, time, and attention, and what you're keeping for yourself. All of that is causing this person as well to sort of self-reflect, and definitely it's activating this like divine masculine principle within them. Very like mindful action, conscientiousness, sort of even following your lead and kind of turning their attention inward. What are some of the, behavioral patterns, or, the reactions, the responses that came from this place of kind of like, okay, it's only sort of surface level connections, or, again, like long-term single energy of like, I'm not really finding anyone at all to connect with. How to sort of switch that off so that they can get, with the program, with kind of like what you're on, this sort of trajectory of growth and expansion, and kind of just like coming into the fullness of yourself, for yourself, and also as it kind of pertains to the experiences you're having with one another. We also have Phoenix, transmutation, and wise woman of the grove, grace. So this person sees you as somebody, like what you're doing as far as love is concerned. This is again where this person feels like my heart would be in safekeeping with you. Even if we made mistakes along the way, if I didn't do or say something right, you didn't say or do something right, I have this confidence, that you are somebody who is kind of like managing your shadow. You're not just sort of running around with all this kind of open woundedness, all this toxicity sort of spilling out into your interpersonal relationships. You've taken accountability for certain things. You've sort of like wrangled in that aspect of you, that could have been kind of like heartbroken by experiences in the past, or, didn't have kind of like the easiest route, went through trials and tribulations in life in general. Anything you had to work on as far as like self-esteem, overgiving, people pleasing, how you've been showing up in love and career and life, like all these things, whatever it is that you're working on in order to kind of like align with a better tomorrow for yourself, all of that, regardless of if you like shared any of this with this person. Maybe you post things like that on social media. Some of you, could have like a spiritually based business or a social media presence, where you just kind of like build community, you share with community, in that sense, kind of like spiritual topics, wellness, personal growth and development, anything like that. If that's the case, this person's definitely like keeping an eye on your social media. They've taken the time to kind of observe, to learn, to learn the lingo, learn the jargon, kind of like see what it is that is important to you, what it is that you're focusing on beyond the material, beyond the superficial. What it is that your life, before you encountered them, before you met them, the ups and downs of your reality up to this point, how is this that you have alchemized this into this version of you that they see now, where it's like your star is on the rise, you are glowing even brighter, they have witnessed you, that you came into their life, you were already a phoenix from the ashes, and in some sort of way, it's like you've had another glow up right before their eyes. And rather than that being something where they feel like, okay, well, now I guess you're like really out of my league, or, this is too challenging, and they kind of cling to the comfort zone. This is somebody that really feels like I would be confident in any direction that, you would lead us, or you would lead me, as far as like emotional connections and, romantic experiences, anything as far as like life changes, goals and dreams, things that you may be chasing after, things where I could see myself, allowing you to be like a real support system for me as I am striving for bigger goals and dreams. This person really sees you as somebody they want to collaborate with. a co-creative energy. It's like power couple energy. This is somebody who may, again, be very like tied to their routine. It's become predictable. It's the stability amidst all the uncertainty of their life or the world in general, or just like the phase that they are at in their reality. And yet you make this person confident to not have to wait for those tower moments and then sort of pick up the pieces, but to sort of listen to that intuition, take very sort of like calculated action forward beyond circumstances that are no longer, serving you in better directions. And as far as romance is concerned, they see that the potential between the two of you, it's going to be deeply transformative. Like it's already been deeply transformative. You have blossomed. You've changed for the better. Not that you needed to change anything, but this person really sees that it's like, yeah, whatever it is that you're kind of like working on, that you're kind of, centered within, whatever it is that your focus is, it's having like a very positive, palpable change and effect upon you. And I get the privilege of witnessing that firsthand from a very intimate kind of like place and vantage point. It's like the VIP seat, the front row seat to that. And so it's making this person confident enough to kind of like leave behind the old narrative, leave behind that like long-term single energy, or, anything where they might have felt that their love life was sort of lukewarm or lackluster. There just wasn't anything very exciting. And it's like, yeah, I want to go on this adventure with you. I want to have that transformative experience of love. I want to, transform through the seasons of life with you by my side, because you are that partner. You are that person that you sort of figured something out about, kind of like going with the flow of change, returning home to self, that love of self first and foremost, filling your own cup first and foremost before kind of inviting others to your table or giving of yourself. And so this is definitely kind of, again, this phoenix from the ashes energy. It is making this person feel like their heart is in safekeeping with you. Their romantic future is in safekeeping with you. You are the type of person that is equipped to kind of gently lead the two of you in a direction towards something very unexpected, but they feel like will be deeply satisfying, because this essence of sort of you coming into this fullness of that divine feminine, manifestation of yourself, that Aphrodite energy, that Venus energy, it's definitely activating, this kind of like Mars, Aries energy within this person, where it's like, yes, I want to fight beyond the limits of my own conditioning, my own predictive patterns, my own kind of habits, in order to make space, make room, open my mind and my energy and my heart and my life to the ways in which this love story can help to kind of create change for the better within me, within you, and between the two of us. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.